guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at one of my favorite filming spot locations on my home turf because guess what? We have that return of a nameplate to the Civic lineup. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 Honda Civic. This is the return of the Civic Hybrid. But before we get into our compact fuel-sipping sedan, let's talk about what's going on here. So the Civic, it's been around since the 1970s. One other thing, within your four corners of your computer screen, your TV, your phone, your laptop, that's from the 70s is, believe it or not, me. So I guess the Civic and I have something in common. What's fascinating though is that they decided to bring out a Civic Hybrid, but then they killed it off in the early 2000s. A lot has changed since then. A lot of brands moving towards electrification very quickly, and now they're backpedaling. Still a lot of people though gravitating towards a Tesla Model 3, but there's a lot of us, like you and I, that maybe are not ready for a pure EV, but yet want to have better fuel economy. This is where the Civic Hybrid comes in. You're going to have a new hybrid system from Honda, and wait until you hear the MPGs, it's going to blow your mind. So what I want to find out is, does the Civic Hybrid make more sense than going, say, a base Tesla Model 3? Why don't we go ahead? Let's dive into our Civic Hybrid and find out. Right off the bat, Steven's favorite color, it's called Urban Gray Pearl, and it really sparkles very nicely in the Florida sun. You can actually see the gold metal flake that is within the gray finish. Very unique color. Now, working our way down, obviously all LED lighting, LED headlights, daytime running lamps, and turn signals. All new updated Civics get a refresh front end that looks pretty much identical to what you get on the hybrid. So we're now going to have a functional corner air curtain, a little bit of flat black on the lower lip. And one of the other things to point out is on our Sport Touring trim, they actually paint body color this trim. Normally on other examples of Civics for 2025, this would be flat black or gloss black. So very nice, gives it a very distinct look. Now as we come across the grille, gloss black, honeycomb finish, fully functional with that Honda badge. And then working our way down, more honeycomb, but this is flat black, which is gonna take a better beating. And I like the way they took the Urban Gray Pearl and painted that lower lip. Now, let me know in the comment section if you're digging the updated look. I really think it has a nice presence to it, keeps it sporty, it's functional, and I prefer it way more than the rounded jelly bean finish of a Model 3 from Tesla. Now, as we rise up, hood is gonna be exactly the same as the previous model year. And that's the good thing about hybrids today, is no longer that they look like a scientific experiment gone wrong. This looks like a Civic, like any other one you'd find at your local dealership, but like I said, it's got crazy fuel economy. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire. So what you're gonna find are these 18-inch wheels. This comes on the Sport Touring trim, machine aluminum, gunmetal, metallic gray finish. You're looking at a tire that's 235 on the width, 40 series sidewall, and these are still front-wheel drive. They have not come up with an all-wheel drive Civic yet for production purposes. Let me know what you think about the wheel with our particular paint. I think it matches very, very nicely. Coming down the side, you are gonna get on the Sport Touring trim, the gloss black on the mirror caps, LED turn signals blended in. One thing I'm gonna give a zonk to, it should have a panoramic sunroof, but you do get a standard size sunroof. From the side of the vehicle, these compact cars are not compact anymore. It's like, these used to be, back in the day, subcompacts. Now they're compacts, but they're really encroaching on mid-size sedans, to be honest with you. But you have color match on the mirror caps, when I say mirror caps, on the door handles, and then I like the way they just kept it simple with flat black around the window openings. As we work our way towards the rear, that trim, flat black, like I said, I don't need a bunch of shiny bling bling all over it. When we get to the back, you do have a little updated tail light, but the problem is you're still gonna have those old-fashioned light bulbs in there, so we're gonna have to zonk that. Tasteful Sport Touring badge. Of course, you also have the hybrid badge, and then squaring it off from the back, because Steven loves to square it off, and you guys love seeing it, is you just have a simple, clean rear bumper. Me personally, especially being a Sport Touring trim, I would like to see an exhaust outlet on each side, nice stainless steel. I think that would give it a nice touch. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk power and fuel efficiency of this Civic. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. That's not a big deal. I'm not going to zonk it on this vehicle because there it is, tried and true, that Honda inline 4 paired to a new hybrid system. So what do we got? It's a 2-liter inline 4 with the electric motor hybrid system, 200 horsepower, 232 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a direct drive transmission, not a CVT, direct drive with that new hybrid layout. It has a 1.1 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack, 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds flat. Top speed is governed to 114 miles an hour. The vehicle weighs 3,225 pounds, but here's the kicker. MPGs. 50 in the city, 47 on the highway. Now, obviously, the Tesla doesn't have an internal combustion engine. It's got an electric motor. But think about how you get to cut the cord and you don't have to worry about charging this thing. It charges itself and keeps that fuel efficiency number way up high. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this up and see this fuel sipper roll. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid. This is the sport touring trim. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I've been on the fence because fuel costs have really done a number on me because I drive so much day to day. I was thinking about a Tesla, but you know what? I'm like you, Joe. The look of the Tesla makes me want to vomit. But I am liking this Honda Civic Hybrid. How much is it? Very good question. MSRP, all in on this top trim, is $33,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. I like the clean, simple style. Soft touch material, a little bit of gloss black, but you really shouldn't be touching that. Some silver on the door handle. They actually produced anti-fingerprint material where the switchgear is. It looks good and it doesn't show fingerprints. Soft touch on the armrest with the stitching. Door pocket is a decent size, so probably two big Bufords from Checkers and a large strawberry shake. Now going from the door panel to the dash, soft touch. We got the Bose sound system. Love the honeycomb wire finish that hides the AC vents. And then slide on in, we got a 9-inch infotainment system. Now, obviously not as big as a screen as what you're gonna find at Tesla, but I feel like it's very simple, straightforward. Wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, the Google Assistant, Google Maps, the whole 9 yards, your usual apps, plus a power flow gauge, all full color display, which is awesome. Look at that range, 399 miles. I'm liking that. Let me throw it in reverse. Big zonk. They need to freaking fix these cameras ASAP. It looks like it's a camera that my dad used to shoot home videos around the holidays with us kids back in the 1990s, early 1990s. So not my favorite, but I do like the way you could change the angle, which is kind of good. Then you're right back where you started. You got a nice bright red power on button that's illuminated. We have dual climate control, heated seats, but no ventilated seats. And I wish that they had ventilated seats at $33,000. 2 USB-Cs, a 12 volt, and a wireless charging pad. This is going to control your direct drive transmission. More of that no fingerprint material. Let me show you the key fob, very tasteful. Much better than that stupid card that you get with your Tesla. Remote start. You got your drive modes. And then, of course, super soft touch on the armrest. Lift it up. You could put a 1-pound bag of Steven's favorite candy in there, Laffy Taffy. And you're going to need some toothpicks to pick out that Laffy Taffy that gets stuck in your teeth. So just something to know. And then the seats, leather with the nice perforations, the stitching. You do have power assist for the passenger, power assist for the driver. And I like the way we have a dark headliner. And I'd rather have a panoramic sunroof, but you know what? I don't even use the sunroof, so it's all up to you. Let me know if you like the standard sunroof. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind this good-looking wheel in the Civic Hybrid. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have your seat controls, easy to get to down below, within fingertip reach. Pedal box, Looks good with a nice aluminum brake pedal throttle. I just wish they would give us an aluminum dead pedal. Is that too much to ask? I don't think so. Seats are probably some of the most comfortable that you could sit in, very durable, and they will last the test of time. Steering wheel, same story. Honda does a great wheel. I don't care what vehicle you're in. Love the contrast stitching, flat black on the switchgear. You do have paddles on the back of the wheel, but that's for regen braking, and you have a manual tilting, telescoping wheel. But the good news is you get to finish off with a 10.25-inch screen that is configurable with different information that you could put within the gauges itself, which is kind of cool. So I could go ahead and put my, let's see what I'm gonna put here. I'm gonna put my Amazon Alexa there. So there you go, nice charge gauge. And then on the other side, you have a cornucopia of different information as well. And the little Civic in the center lights up its lights when you turn on the brakes, or of course, the turn signals, which is kind of cute. The other thing that's missing, I'm surprised it doesn't have, is a head-up display. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the back seat and see if your passengers are gonna be compromised because there's a battery pack back there. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, back seat time. And the great news is that you're not really compromising your passengers' room back here because this is a hybrid. I do like the comfortable seats. The one thing, remember, is that because the Model 3 is a EV, you don't have a tunnel here. And what's funny is I don't understand why there is a tunnel, because there is no all-wheel drive Civic. So why is that there? I remember when the FK8 Type R came out, there was all this hoopla about how they eventually would add all-wheel drive to that car, which obviously never happened because we have an FL5 Type R and there's no all-wheel drive. So if anybody knows why that tunnel is there, let me know. Back of the seat, no pocket behind the passenger, so I would say sit behind, I should say the driver, I would say sit behind the passenger because you got a large pocket here. I could go over to Countryside Mall and get myself a nice cookie cake, chocolate chip cookie cake. I used to love those. God, I'd put away one of those and I'd feel really guilty after that, that's for sure. But I don't feel guilty sitting back here, plenty of headroom, and I just like the fit and finish. The problem is that back here you have no AC vents, no connectivity, nothing. It's just plastic. That's a little bit of a bummer. Why don't we go ahead, let's get in the trunk and see if there's enough room in here for all your junk in the Civic Hybrid. All right, guys, junk in the trunk. Let's see if it's compromised. Not at all. You're gonna get a ton of room back there. How much room are we looking? You're looking at 15 cubic feet of space. You do have those nice handles to pull down and fold the seats down, so you could go to Costco, get your big old box of toilet paper and paper towels. And then of course we can't forget that 10-gallon jug of Yoo-Hoo, and of course the case of 145 Twinkies. What do we have underneath? Let's see. No spare. You get a can of Flat Fix and an electric air compressor. Not surprised, because a lot of cars are going that direction. But let's go ahead and see really if this thing drives well, but also gives you the fuel economy numbers that you want. Let's hop in and get to it. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid Sport Touring. Right away, I do like the wonderful feeling when you're sitting inside a Civic. The materials have been nicely upgraded over the generations. I know not everybody loves the iPad style 9-inch infotainment system, but it is well within reach. You got the full suite of Google assistants and that great 10.25-inch digital gauge cluster. Now, going into the different modes, like I said, sport mode is going to change the whole driving personality. And what the car does really well is having that new updated hybrid system with the newer motor. It gives you that instant torque, but you don't have to worry about charging. You don't ever have to worry about charging because it's charging automatically. You got your regen braking if you want to send more power to the lithium-ion battery pack, or also change the braking characteristics of the car. And I really think that these are the types of vehicles that are necessary. It's a good bridge
type of car. And what I mean by that is that it's bridging the gap between just regular internal combustion engine and full out EV. But I love how they really worked on the sound deadening material, because that inline four does not come on a lot. And when it does, I mean, you hear it a little bit, but it's nothing too obnoxious, which is good. Honda always has good feedback to the steering wheel. I don't care what Honda vehicle we're looking at, but especially this Civic hybrid. The handling through the wheel is fantastic. Plus, because it is a hybrid, it's a little bit lower center of gravity, which is really nice because of that battery pack. But like I said, getting to the infotainment system, the different maps, you still have all your familiar icons, the power flow gauge, full color, which is awesome. And then you could also move around the icons depending on what you want in particular. But easy to understand, easy to work AC controls, real knobs. I wish that this had ventilated seats at the price point. That would have been a nice little extra addition for the hybrid sport touring, since this is the top trim. Seats are comfy, supportive, and you really feel like you're sitting in the car, not on the car. But I would take this any day of the century over a Tesla Model 3, just because of the superior versatility of the vehicle. I mean, you're getting awesome fuel efficiency, but you're also getting some good driving dynamics, and you don't have to worry about range anxiety. I guess the one thing that this is missing would be an all-wheel drive Civic, which that still has not happened yet. So we'll have to wait and see if that ever happens. But the Honda sensing technology is great in here. And just the fit and finish. This is, when you get into a Honda, you see the difference, especially compared to a Tesla. Tesla still working on that fit and finish, but Honda has it down pat. And they're bulletproof. On throttle, here we go. Simulated shifts, direct drive transmission, like an EV. But I just love the way this vehicle drives, and the fact that you're getting 50 mpgs in the city. I mean, geez Louise, that is stupendous. Brakes feel great. And just overall, a fun car to drive. Driving this in everyday traffic is such a breeze. It's a good size of a vehicle overall. There is some sound being pumped in through the speakers. It's nothing too obnoxious. I rather do without it, but it is there. The good news is when you go into normal or econ, it's no longer there. So that's good. Let's go back into sport. We're gonna go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. But as you can see, I mean, it's just really smooth, especially when you think about, I mean, if you're gonna drive this on a road trip, you're gonna be racking up the miles before you have to stop for fuel. And it's good to be in a nice, comfortable situation. And this one really checks off so many boxes. And I mean, I think it's gotten to the point where myself, plus a lot of other people, prefer the Civic over the Accord. For a multitude of reasons, especially style. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of what the Honda Civic Sport Touring Hybrid is bringing for the money. We're gonna go ahead and get back and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, I feel like I've been standing on the surface of the sun today, but you know what? The show must go on. Definitely want to thank everybody at Honda for allowing us access to this press fleet vehicle. Let me know what you think. If you had your cash ready, are you gonna go the Tesla route, or are you gonna go Honda Civic Hybrid? How are you gonna spend your money? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber,
Thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Gotta give it up to Stephen Flood. He loves sweating. This is how he cleans his pores out and cleans out his whole body just by sweating everything out. So thank you, Stephen, for sweating to the oldies. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.